I recently worked on a case where the wife had had brain tumor and the husband had left her and she'd lost her job and she was in a very delicate position. I didn't know how much stress she could actually take in this divorce proceedings. And I said, hey, is there something that you really always wanted to do? And she said, yeah. I always wanted to be an international school teacher, but I don't know if I can do that now. I said, well, how long does it take? She said, 4 years. How much does it cost? It was $250,000 or something. I said, well, let's see what we can do. Let's try. So I went to the husband and said, hey, do you think that you would go ahead and help pay for her international education so that ultimately after 4 years she can get a really good job? And it'll be good for you because she won't be coming back to you when she has other needs. She can get on her feet and she'll be fully empowered and has a focus, especially over these next 4 years, to get herself out of that rut. And he said, okay, I'll do it. So I went back to the wife and said, hey, what do you think? He's going to do it. She went, what? I said, yeah, he wants to go ahead and help you with your education so that you can really get back on your feet. She burst into tears and was like, okay, thank you so much. Let's just get this moving. Let's sign. Where do we need to go? Because it made her feel like he still loved her. He cared about her. He wanted to look after her. But their life just wasn't going to go forward the way it was. So it was quite powerful. The origin of why did I get into mediation, people say, how did I end up doing this? I kept asking questions. I've been working with families for many, many years. And I knew there was a better way to be able to do things. I just didn't know exactly what it was. And then I discovered mediation, and that's when I trained as a family mediator. So, one of the things that I also did, this was with a family, and the little boy was like, but I want Daddy here to come have our birthday cake. I said, what's this birthday cake? He said, oh, Mommy makes a birthday cake every birthday for everybody. And for breakfast on that morning, we all have birthday cake. I want Daddy here for that. And the dad happened to be around, and he said, I would love to be there for that. And so we all decided that for every birthday, Mom would still keep making her cake. The kids could be there, and Mom and Dad could be there as well. So can you imagine how I felt with that? It was like, and they had tears in their eyes. I had tears in my eyes. I was pretty happy. So it's so rewarding for me, especially when I see these very powerful outcomes. But I've also seen it where it goes into litigation. I don't like litigation. I don't believe families should ever go into litigation unless it's absolutely dire case. Litigation is emotionally draining. It's expensive. There's so much paperwork going on. And I've seen with families, once it enters into litigation, many of the children, the cousins, aren't even allowed to speak with each other. They're not allowed to go together anywhere. They don't have Christmases or Chinese New Year or parties together. And they come to me and say, I miss my family, but they're forbidden to see them. Grandparents who aren't allowed to see their grandchildren because of this division which occurs in the litigation. Litigation is about somebody wins and somebody loses. That means that somebody is going to come out not feeling very good at all. Mediation is about finding that balance and that harmony so that there is longer term of helping them to keep that love in the family. I recently got a postcard from a case from more than 10 years ago. And they were all on holiday together, Mom and Dad and the kids, swimming, and said, thank you. Thank you so much for helping us to still be best friends and a whole family. We're so grateful to you. It really made me feel I made a difference. That's why I love mediation so much. And I'm against litigation. Thank you.